Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 1st of October. I can't believe I'm saying it. My name's Philip Kingston.
I'm Gary Peer. Welcome to October, Phil.
Wow, who would have thought, Gary? I mean, before you know it, we were just introducing GPTV in February of this year, and we're now saying October. And by the way, Gary, 12 Saturdays to go. That's on the assumption that we auction on Saturday, the 21st of December, which is right up, pushing hard up against Christmas. It is possible, but 12 Saturdays, who would have thunk?
I reckon we'll be going on the 21st of December. I reckon we'll be there, Phil, with the mistletoe and the tinsel and singing carols as we do that time of year. But right now, we've got to get through the rest of spring. We've got 1 month down, 2 months to go. Your thoughts on spring thus far?
Well, Gary, without any boast music, because we're not boasters, and
we are boasters.
We are boasters about certain
We're
things.
big boasters.
We're boasters when we smash the industry clearance rate on the weekend. We're big boasters when we get around the same number. We're not big boasters, and when on the occasion that we fall underneath we're not boasters at all. But in terms of a little bit of boasting, this is more just so viewers understand what's going on in the market. Do you realise, Gary, that September, the month of September, was the biggest September in the history of Gary Peer and Associates? Biggest September.
Well, for expenses.
For expenses.
Yeah, I think for expenses. See, I can just bring a cloud over every sunny day, can't I? It was a very good month.
It was our busiest month in terms of numbers of properties sold, Gary.
Across the group,
Philip.
Yes.
You know what's miserable about you? And I'm sorry you've started the misery component. But you know what's miserable about you? I talk about how good things are, and you go straight to the money part of it, the profit component.
I'm like the tax department.
You know what?
You say you went really well, and I go, yeah, but I'm going to take this out of it, just to make sure you're not feeling so good. Phil,
it's not all about profits, Gary. It's about education. It's about learning more. It's about pushing yourself. It's about helping people buy and sell houses. It's not always about your wallet, which you open and moths fly out of it.
It was a good month. We had a very big September. We had a very big August. I think what I'm most surprised about, Phil, is the clearance rate was far better than I thought it would be. And I think I'm very excited about that for our buyers and sellers. Also, Phil, let me ask you a bit of a riddle. What do the two directors of Gary Peer Associates, Sally Zelman and Leon Guzenfitter, have in common?
Yes, well, that is a tragic answer to that
that's
question,
right.
Gary, because I know where you're going to here.
They
a
are
shout out to Sally and a shout out to Leon, who are now at the butt of Gary's jokes.
Well, they will
GPTV.
fall over themselves to get you the best price. They will fall over themselves to get the best price, Phil. And sadly, they've both taken a little bit of a tumble.
A little bit of a tumble, but that's because both of them are so energetic and they're always in a hurry to get things done. But when you are coming downstairs from a first floor property, that is the moment for calm and concentration.
And I've told Leon, I said, you're Russian, not rushing, right? And he was rushing, and he went down the stairs.
He is Russian, and he was Russian.
Talk about Russian. I got to say it, I love Russians because they are just full of life. And I went on Saturday night to a place where no doubt you wouldn't have frequented with all of your fine dining.
Rasputin.
Rasputin. What a great place for my daughter's birthday, and happy birthday again to my darling daughter. Phil, this is a place where they have
Corner
music.
Glenferrie Road.
And you wouldn't know if you didn't know it.
And Wattletree Road.
If you didn't know
upstairs.
it, you wouldn't know it was there. But if you want to have an authentic European experience, go up there. It's a Russian nightclub. They've got food, they've got drinks, and they've got music. And it just went off. They lifted me on a chair. They carried me around, Phil, and that wouldn't have done their backs any good, I've got to say. Just as being the father of the birthday girl, but they know how to have a good time, Russians. I reckon there's a lot we can learn from the Russians. But Leon, as a Russian, stop rushing so much because we need you back on deck. And Sally, you're healing well, but it is part of the DNA of agents, isn't it?
Shout out to our Russian clientele, right? Because first of all,
love our Russian
we're talking about Russians in Australia who have added so much to the community.
Oh, we're not talking about Putin's attack on Ukraine. We're not trying to get you.
I just want to put this into perspective.
Yes,
but let's talk about the Russian community
in
Melbourne, of which we're fortunate to have so many of them as friends and clients. I would agree with you. Their zest for life
Oh,
and
fantastic.
their passion and enthusiasm is nothing short of fantastic.
Let's hear it for the Russians. In fact, I think every week we should cover a different background, a different, a different nationality.
Different ethnic,
because
what should we say, minority?
A different background.
A diverse, where Australia, Melbourne, is made up of so many diverse ethnic minorities, and that's what makes the melting pot of Australia so fabulous.
And that's what I love about this country, and I love about our youth in this country. I've actually got a reunion from Ripponlea State School. Should I say there how many years? 50 years, Phil, since Ripponlea State School.
No doubt you'd need to have that in Tarneet.
Eh? Why is that?
Because Tarneet is the home of a very large jail in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And if you're having a 50-year reunion from the Ripponlea
tell you
days,
what,
a lot of them may well be boarding there.
That's very offensive, Phil, because not a lot of them, but some of them. Some of them did end up there, but some of them ended up as doctors. Some of them ended up, some of them didn't do so well and became real estate agents, Phil. But some are doctors. There's accountants. There's vets there. There's just a great variety of people, and that's part of the joy of growing up in 1960s, 1970s Australia, Phil. People came from everywhere, got together, celebrated their differences, laughed at the differences. The larrikinism that I grew up with, Phil, it's not really an art any longer, but let's celebrate and be the Aussie larrikin.
There is no question, Gary, that Australia is all the better for all of these people that have come from countries all over the world. But I've got to tell you, Australia and Australians and fellow GPTV watchers, you have to treasure what we have. You have to guard it jealously.
I agree.
Democracy is a very fragile thing.
It is.
And the melting pot that we've created in this country, you have to look after it carefully.
Yes.
So don't ever take it for granted. No. It's something that we've got to really treasure, celebrate, and care for.
And be proud of it. Be proud of it, because
I
reckon we've got lots to be proud of.
And speaking of that, Gary, speaking of football, and of course that was the segue to football, we're just going to show...
How was that a segue to football? How was that in any way? See, this is what he does, right? It's like he's got this sort of, Houdini kind of, that's a segue to football. How is that a segue? It's got nothing to do with football.
Gary,
you're just moving into football.
Segue to football, and we're going to show up something that I said on last week's GPTV.
Yeah.
Rest up, Swans or Brisbane?
Swans will win.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Look, I think Swans will win,
yeah.
But actually, I think Brisbane is going to do it. There's my prediction.
How can you do that? How can you say you think Swans will win, but you think Brisbane will do it? What is that?
So, do you have, after watching that, an apology to make?
No,
well, Gary, you called me out for picking that Brisbane would win the grand final.
Gee, you got it right.
And they did. And
do you know what, Phil?
I have to tell you, I've got friends, I've got relatives, I've got people that I care for living in Sydney. All I can say to you is bad luck.
And there's a good dose of humility right there. Look, as you know, I went to the game with your ticket. Thank you. Thank you. One day I'll get...
How was that whole...
One day I'll get a ticket. I didn't go to all the pre-thing, which... I haven't got the stamina for it, Phil. And I love those people that do have the stamina. They're there at 9 o'clock. They're eating caviar. They're eating oysters. They're drinking. Then they're drinking at 10. Then they're drinking at 11. They're drinking at 1. Then
they need a cleansing ale after.
I can't keep up with it, Phil. But I love the people that do it, and I respect you for it. But I can't do it anyway.
So you went to the game, viewers. So you understand, he went to the game on this ticket that gives you a ticket to just about everything short of actually bouncing the ball in the middle. I'm surprised I didn't see you there.
Yeah.
But you're in a box, I'm presuming.
I was in a box. No, I was in a seat like a regular poison.
Okay.
With a number of other people there, Philip, and of whom I knew, which I'll talk to you about later. It was a great crew of people. And of course, Phil, I don't bet very often on sport.
Yes.
But I said, Sydney's won all year round. They're going to win. So I had a bet. And of course, lo and behold, no matter how skillful Sydney was, they weren't big enough to win my bet for me. My money can weigh down any team, Phil. And it wasn't such a big bet.
All I can say to everybody from Sydney that happens to be watching this show, right?
Oh, it was a sea of red and white, by the way.
Yeah, 100%, right? Look, the thing about Sydney is it's a fabulous city.
It is,
It's a fabulous city. And to a degree, there's a certain entitlement.
Yeah,
that
and it's a
comes
show,
from-
Phil. Sydney's a show.
Sydney siders just think because they've got a harbour,
Yeah.
because they've got the bridge, because they've got the Opera House, because
And they're
they've
better
got
looking.
those incredible
Yeah.
beaches,
And great
because
figures
everybody
and,
is
yeah,
incredible
like beautiful,
looking there,
yeah.
because they've taken the restaurants from Melbourne and made them theirs, because they now you can get a decent coffee there.
And they've got a
because,
tram.
Because housing prices are now through the roof.
Yeah.
Because they've essentially got everything.
Yeah.
They think they should have the cut. Well,
Yeah.
all I can tell you is without question now, there's a hoodoo.
Yeah,
There's a
that's right.
hoodoo on
Yeah,
Sydney
there is.
playing in the grand
Well, do
final.
you- yeah.
And all I can say is you can come many, many, many times, but you've now set you've now set yourselves up for this absolute fear of failure.
Yep,
Because
yep.
there's no question the next time that they are in the grand final is they're just going to get jelly
Well,
legs
do you know what?
because
It's
they
Phil-
just know there's a hoodoo.
Well, Phil, it's like Collingwood in the 1970s, and Lou Richards I think it was Lou Richards, said they had the collie wobbles,
Yeah,
right?
correct,
And I think there's going to be a term
Sydney
similar
wobbles.
because there's going to be a Sydney wobble thing there because I
Yeah.
reckon they've got rolled a few times because John Longmire, well done to him,
Yeah,
got him in the
yeah.
final many times,
Many
won once,
times, yeah.
but got rolled quite a few times. So sorry, Sydney, you're just going to have to
Sorry
go back to
about
your beautiful town with your harbour and your views and
Yeah.
your beaches and your bodies and everything
you-
else.
you-
But you won't be taking it
your
home,
one
will you?
second prize, which
Yeah.
is going home, which
Exactly right.
many would say is the first prize.
Yeah, not too bad at all. Well done to Brisbane though. Gee, they were ferocious, weren't they?
They
They were
were.
ferocious,
They were.
scary and
And
ferocious.
didn't you love that Fagan?
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
He is the oldest coach
Yep.
that's never played AFL either.
Yeah.
Right. He's just gone to prove
Yeah.
that this whole ageism, and there was a whole lot of talk in recent times about, it's a young man's game. You've got to be a ex-play. You've got to be 30s and you've got to be 40s.
Yep.
If this old bloke comes along, this old little bloke,
Yep.
right, chewing gum the
Yeah,
whole
no,
game,
that's right.
comes
He
along,
loves chewing his gum.
never played the game. Oh,
Yeah.
he has played the game, but never, overly successfully. And he's just gone, listen, young guys.
Yeah. I'll tell you what to do, and we'll get the flag. And that'll be it.
Good
I reckon,
idea.
I reckon we could be coaches, AFL coaches now.
Well,
We've
he's
got the
pro-
same. We've got the same qualifications as him.
He's proven. Well, he did play. He did actually play some senior level football, but
Yeah,
apparently never got a gig in the first.
Well, I played kick to kick at Ripon League, and you vomited when you went and did a trial once.
some training?
He did. He went and did some training. Mr. Macho Man stood behind a tree and threw up. True story.
Okay,
Good story.
let's talk-
Phil,
let's talk.
I want to talk about my bet because I was very upset. I had a bet on and do you know, I think they need in Australia what they've got in Vegas. In Vegas, there's a window you can go to.
Yeah.
You pay them $1 and you can tell them how sore you are about the bet that you just lost.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's basically, if it's called a bad beat in poker, go and pay them $1. There's a queue of people want to tell you, and there's just a guy who goes, I tasted all that, was terrible. I can't believe you lost like that. So I'm looking for someone like that.
And only Gary would
to
know that
lament,
about that window in
yeah.
Vegas.
Oh, I'm
You've
a
got to be an insider to know that. Gary,
I'm
as
popular
much as
there.
it's been a football week,
Yeah.
now keep in mind, viewers, the reason we're just going on and
Yeah,
on and
we are a
on,
bit.
this is the time filler space
Yeah.
edition. Because there were no auctions last
Yeah.
weekend, much to think about in Melbourne and Victoria. I think normally there's be 1,000 auctions. There was 120.
Nothing in our area,
Nothing
really.
in our
No.
area because all estate agents in the inner suburbs take this opportunity to have a long weekend. But we did make 10 sales during
Yeah, I
the
know.
week, which
Don't know
was,
how that happened.
which is terrific.
Yes.
A lot of those sales, Gary, were some properties that we'd passed in recent weeks that our team were beavering away, head down, just
Bottom up.
making sure that the football wasn't a distraction. So good to get 10 sales away. But unless you've got anything better to talk about, shall we talk about this weekend's auctions?
Well, I think we can, Phil. I want to just sort of check in with you before we start. How are you thinking, or what are you thinking is going to happen for the rest of this year? Because we've got October, November,
Yep.
December. We've got really one quarter left.
Yes.
That's it. We're in our final quarter on the home straight, so
Yep.
to speak. What are your predictions for the rest of this year?
So my predictions are this very simply, Gary,
Yep.
that the people that buy in the month of October, November and the first part of December will be the people that will be looking back next year, laughing, saying what geniuses they were, might have bought by accident or you just might have stumbled across something. But next year, I think when the interest rate cuts come through,
Yep.
the market's going to bounce immediately. And I think that this window of time will be the last opportunity to buy in what is not a subdued market, but it's not an exuberant market. There are some good buying opportunities around. And I think next year, people will look at this episode going, well, they did tell us. And we will be next year going, we told you so, we
Yeah.
told you so, we told
And
you
we'll
so.
say, have a look back to the episode of the 1st of October.
Correct.
Let's do a snippet of this, which is
Yeah.
happening now, and see what we said then.
Correct.
Unless nothing
Correct.
happens like that, in which
Correct.
case we'll just say we never said it.
So, but just on that, I think properties are selling fairly.
Yeah.
We've got a state of equilibrium out there at the moment where the stock, at least with us, is being absorbed by the marketplace. We've got a big run until the end of the year, but I think that when the interest rates cuts do come through, which could be first quarter of next year, no guarantees, but when they happen, as they always do, bang, overnight, property market jumps by 10 to 15%.
I think it's very much still a seller's market for the select stock, Philip. I think
Yes.
there's some stuff that's not languishing but a bit slow, but the good stuff, people are still jumping all over. They're competing for it, and those clearance rates are telling me it's still a positive market.
Good on
for
you,
sellers.
Gary.
That's
so
my
you're
view.
feeling pumped and primed.
Oh, yeah.
Let's jump into this weekend. How many auctions?
We've got 24 coming up, Phil.
24.
And we're starting to
okay.
roll out, not this week, but we're going to start to roll out very selectively because we've got Oaks Day and we've got some Jewish holidays in Caulfield, which we've observed. So we're trying to just watch a little bit carefully about what's going on. But we're going to start mapping out a lot of midweek twilight auctions, Phil.
Do you know what's happening this weekend,
What's that?
Gary? I'm pretty excited because I love it.
Yeah, it's not the Caulfield Cup yet.
No. Daylight saving.
Oh,
Yeah,
and my phone's
good on
run
you.
right
Good
like
on
that.
you. We'll take
There we go.
a short break and be back in just one moment. And we're back after that very short break where Gary had to take a very important phone call to help one of our team. And that's what we do. We're available 24/7, 365 for our team. They know they can call us or, ring our doorbells at 4 a.m. There is no time like the time that we dedicate to our clients.
we never close, as we've said before, Philip.
Correct.
Let's get rolling into this weekend's listings, Philip. We've got a variety of properties, a variety of areas. We're very Murrumbeena-centric on Saturday, as we seem to be so often.
Jump
Gee.
into it, Gary.
Let's start off at 10:30, Philip. We've got triple auction action. By the way, Philip, we also heard from our young champion mascot, Gutty. He was very disappointed because, we've got Gutty who comes to our auctions, and g'day Gutty, who is a...
Shout out to Gutty.
And to his mother, Robin. But Gutty loves our auctions.
And Shane.
He comes, and Shane, and when Gutty comes to the auctions, he says...
Put it on the market.
Is it going to be on the market?
It's going
He's
to be on the market.
He's keeping us very, very close, and he missed our auctions last
I
weekend
can't wait till he finishes school and starts with us.
as our CEO.
He might not be the CEO
He might
straight
be,
away,
yeah.
but there's no question. Gutty, you're coming to work with us.
Exactly right. Okay, triple auction action, 10:30 a.m. Philip, let's kick off. Queen's Avenue. We're in Hawthorne, Phil. We love it over there.
Stay tuned, Gary, because this might well be sold before auction, and if it's not, it's 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a fabulous car space, a great location.
What was launched, Philip, when it was subdivided and beautified as the Gardens of Caulfield is actually in East St Kilda. It is 18273 Orong Road.
Gary, we love this building. We love the front garden area, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and a car space.
Our first of 4 Murrumbeena auctions, Philip, kicks off in Atkinson Street.
Christian DeFreck and Leo Samuel, that is a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, fabulous home, beautiful inside, wonderful swimming pool, great block of land, fully renovated, wonderful property.
Phil, you can have a little sleep in, but you're going to be up and about at 11:30 for one of our prize properties being auctioned this weekend in Thomas Street.
Daniel Pierre, Leo Barr and Arlene Joffe. What an amazing home. This has got 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, as many as 5 cars in the basement, everything that opens and shuts. Love that property.
And while you're in, Philip, Brighton East, I'm going to be in Bentley East with Vanessa McGlynn and John Sweepo at what looks like the most wonderful property.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. There is a studio. There's wraparound land. There's plenty of car parking. What a great property that
And
one
I'm
is.
hopping off from Gowrie Street in Bentley East to Asling Street, Brighton, which has been so popular, Philip.
Gary, we've
great
been
home.
overwhelmed by the interest
Yep.
there. 622 square metres of land, together with a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom family home, lock-up garage. That's a great property, and we love that part of Brighton.
And we have been overwhelmed. We underestimated how popular that would be, Phil. But come to that auction if you want to see a bit of fireworks, because there's lots of interest in it. Daphne Street, Bentley East, Philip, also at 12:30.
Gary, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a lock-up garage. Leo and Leon are going to be meeting you there for the auction.
Phil, you're second. We've only got 2 auctions each on Saturday on a very busy day, Phil. We're getting phased out by some of our other auctioneers. Are you still feeling relevant?
I'm still feeling relevant,
Yeah,
Gary. If you're about to introduce number 32 Westbury Grove,
am.
St Kilda East, let's get that up on screen. Daniel Michmacher has been handling that property. 2
Yep.
bedrooms, 1 bathroom, plenty of off-street car parking. That property will either be sold, Gary,
Yep.
or the auction may be postponed by 1 week. So stay tuned.
Okay, let's go to Oh Mama. Oh Mama, what a great house this is, Philip.
What a lovely intro. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking for a couple of cars. That is a beautiful property. Christian Defrec and Dizzy Wang are handling that together and loving it.
He is Mr. Murrumbina, isn't he, Christian Defrec? He's doing so much there, but not only he is selling in Murrumbina, because we can hop over and see that Graham Callan also loves that suburb, and we're in Kangaroo Road with Graham Callan.
Together with David Thompson, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. This property is an amazing property, over 2 levels, absolutely stunning inside. Looking forward to hearing the results there, Gary.
We've got a couple of 230 auctions, Philip. One of them is in Hyatt, where we do so well, Philip.
Gary, this is one at 184 Wickham Road. David Thompson, Leor Samuel. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a lock-up garage, plenty of car space, and, Gary, lots of garden area.
Hot Chocolate had a great song in the 70s, Philip, called Emily. They said Emily, Emily, and we are going to be at 46 Emily Street.
Together with Dizzy and Christian, yet again, 4 bedrooms, 4 magnificent bathrooms. This is the house with absolutely everything. Love that house. There's so many beautiful features. Check out that kitchen and bathroom. Absolutely stunning.
Another property that may not make it to auction, but it may, Phil, is in Pakenham Street, St Kilda at
Gary,
3:30.
what a beautiful building. The honours there go to Darren Krongold and Reno Pablibor, and that is 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a basement car space, beautiful apartment, but it might not make auction, Gary. I know there's murmurs of it being sold before.
And we finish off with our auction in Sydney, Philip, not in Sydney the city, but in Sydney Street, Murrumbina at 3:30 p.m.
Beautiful property. This one brand new and bursting with features, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a double lock-up garage, which is highly unusual. Wraparound courtyard gardens. Leon Gusenfitter meets Christian Defrec.
We got a little bit of auction action happening on Sunday morning, Philip, in Langdon Road. Looking forward to this auction, and what a great home.
As you sure should be, Gary. Sunday morning, you sure will look fine, because you're going to be meeting Daniel Peer, Arlene Joffe, Romy Skolnick and Bernard Mell for the auction of that wonderful timber home, which is incredibly livable, sits on 630 square metres of prime land. We love Langdon.
We sure do, Phil, and we also love it in Glen Huntly Road. Tell us about
Mark
this one.
Wynn and Rishi Thacker have got auction honours there, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom and a car space. That's a very, very generous property, Gary. The kitchen, meals, living dining room are bigger than usual. That's a great property.
We've got triple auction action, Philip, at 11:30. We're going to be in Hawthorne Road. I think this might have sold.
It might have, Gary, but if not, Viv and Izzy will be there. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and unusually a lock-up garage. Great building, great location.
Renovators Delight brings itself to the market, Philip, at 11:30 via Joel Sir and Jeremy Rosens.
Yes, Gary, that's a great property. Joel Sir, Dunn Gutman, Daniel Fisher, 3 bedrooms and a bathroom. That's a great opportunity to get into the hottest of locations, being St Kilda East.
So pretty and so affordable, Philip, is the home at 303 Bamboo Road in Corford South.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking, huge garden areas, Gary. That's the property with everything. Arlene Joffe, Daniel Peer, Romy Skolnick, auction honours there.
Got a bit of a lunch break, Phil, at 12:30. No auctions, funnily enough, but at 1:30 we've got double auction action. Let's kick off in Steel Street, which you are going to be meeting Darren there.
I'm going to be meeting Darren Krongold, Don Gutman and Joel Sir. This is a great property. Looking forward to this, Gary. Really like this home. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, a lock-up garage, plenty of further space for other cars. That's beautiful inside, and I really like that address.
2 at 4 Westbury Grove, Philip, also at 1:30 p.m.
Gary, Viv Samuel, Nikki Janova, auction honours there, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a lock-up garage, another space in front. That's a great property, and of course we love Westbury Grove.
And at 866 Glen Huntly Road, Phil, there is double auction action.
Unusual, Gary. We've got the home at the front. This is home number 1, which is a 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom, beautiful and charming period home. That's you can move straight into it. You can add some further value. That's a really good property. Now that's at 2:30. At 3 o'clock, I just gently walked down the side drive to home number 2, which is a 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom and a lock-up garage, single level villa. Both those properties are incredible. What a great opportunity to be able to bring them to the market and welcome the new buyers into those properties.
And don't take your sunnies off yet, or your glasses off yet, Phil, because we are going to kick off, or finish off, I should say, our weekend in Anderson Street, Caulfield, with Jeremy Rosens meeting Nikki Janova.
Gary, we've described this as house size proportions, and it is. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage. That is an amazing property with an incredible courtyard garden.
We've got a couple of properties to review, to talk about, Phil, before we close down the show for this week. One of those is to talk about this great property in Seaview Street, this iconic home, been in the same family for many years.
Gary, this sits on 875 square metres of land and right high up on the hill, so you probably would get a sea view if you added a second story to that, but that is an amazing property. Seaview is a very, very well sought after address. Lior and Aviv have got auction honours there with a very solid and stately single level home that could be resurrected, but again, an incredible parcel
And
of
if
land.
you want a house that can impress, if anyone can, Lucan can, Phil. And there's 8 Lucan Street in Corfu
Gary,
North.
we love Lucan Street, just at the back of our office. You've got everything on your doorstep. You've got Dandenong Road, you've got the Alma Village Shopping Centre, you can walk to Malvern Central, you can walk to High Street Armidale. Everything is on your doorstep. This is a really pretty home, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a car space at front. That's a home you can move straight into. It's also a home that you can add some further value to, so we love it.
Another interesting home that meets the market, Philip, is this home in Takapuna Street, Corfu South, where we've had friends that have lived in this home before. It's been tried and tested by a number of our friends.
And owned, Gary, by one of
right.
our former employers.
Yes,
so it's a
indeed.
really well-built home, solid brick. I love this house. The current owners have given it a bit of a makeover, and I think it's gone from good to great.
Yep.
It's now 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage, a beautiful swimming pool. It's at the rear, it's on the north side, 765 square metres. Shout out to Liam and Joel Sir, who have got the honours of taking that property to the market, and they're loving it.
And owned by one of our former employers and one of our our current team members, Philip, also used to own that home. So it's actually been through a few
Gary,
interesting hands.
incredible.
And endorsed, got a stamp of approval on it, that one. Phil, that is a big wrap on this week's GPTV. We're in October. We're rolling on for the final quarter. I'm
12
excited.
Saturdays to go, Gary, so strap yourself in, take your Alka-Seltzer, take your Baroccas, get some IV vitamin C into you. Do whatever you got to do to maintain your enthusiasm, your happy, your joie de vie as we head towards the end of the year. I'm Philip Kingston. Thanks for watching.
Gary Peer, we'll see you next week.